Leave a like on this video for nothing. I mean, hey man, I'm being honest at least. What's up guys? Welcome back to a brand new story. And just for 1 second, hear me out. Imagine enjoying your class, paying attention, being with your friends, learning, right? Such a great environment. Well, it was a great environment until a psycho furry out of nowhere decides to try and attack you by sitting on you and crushing you, and you just kind of sit there. And at that very moment, you just question your life. You're just like, why? What? So that's actually the story we have today. So sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new, maybe grab something to eat, get comfortable, and let's just jump right into this story. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted the story Benji. So anyways, there was a furry guy in their class. And first thing I want to say is like there are definitely some furries who watch me because there have been some in the comments on my other videos. I really don't care what you do. Like, honestly, like I support you if that's what you want to do. And I genuinely have nothing against you if that's your hobby. If you like dressing up like animals, dude, like, do I get it? No. Do I do it? No. But like, I don't care. Like, genuinely. However, if you just, this following sentence is very funny. If you decide that you want to go sitting on people to try and crush them, to beat them or something, that's not okay. That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the damn line, dude. Anyways, though, yeah, so there's a furry guy, and we're going to name him Ben, and he had this furry girlfriend, and at their school, they were allowed to come in full fursuits. I think the kid or the teachers and the staff were just like, kids these days, like, we don't understand it. As long as they're not harming other people, we don't really care. So you would see people walking around in class or in the school, maybe with like a tail on, maybe with those like gamer cat ear things. So and like, but a few of them go in full fursuit, which in all fairness was a little distracting in the beginning, but here's the thing. Believe it or not, if someone comes to your class in a fursuit the first time, you will be distracted, but probably by the 100th time, it just becomes normal to you. So Ben, the furry, right, had a furry girlfriend, the only other person in the school that wore like full fursuits or whatever, and also happened to be a girl. So they were, you know, of course, they were in a relationship. And one day, this story all starts one day when Benji was in the class with both Ben, Benji and Ben. That's a little bit too close. Remember, Ben is the name of the furry. Benji is the name of the subscriber. I really hope I don't mix those up because that'd be very confusing. But anyways, one day, this all started one day in class. And in this very class, Benji, Ben, and Ben's furry girlfriend were all in the same class. And this all started one day when this was a class of a lot of people, right? There was a lot of people in this class. So Benji got in late this day, so he had to sit in the back of the classroom. Because the Ben, the furry, and also his furry girlfriend would always kind of sit in the back of the classroom so that they could, like, make out in their fursuits or I don't even know, dude. But, yeah, they would do you know what, Benji, he was always sitting in the kind of, like, the middle of the classroom because that's kind of where his friends were. He wasn't in the far back where the unknown regions where Ben was doing whatever unspeakable things with his furry girlfriend back there. But he also wasn't in the front of the class because Benji wasn't that type of kid to really sweat class that hard, so he wasn't like grinding super hard. But yeah, today he got in late, so every seat in the middle of the class was full. So he was forced to go to the way back, and he had to sit right next to Ben, the furry, and his girlfriend. Remember, he had no issue with Ben being a furry. You know, he didn't care. You can do what you like. You can dress up as an old Russian woman for all I care about, bro. Like, I seriously do not care. However, PDA is where I draw the line. I said this earlier in one of my other videos. The freshmen at my college, they need to be stopped. We need Rice Gum from 2016 to come back and make a video telling them that they need to be stopped. The PDA is ridiculous. Anyways, so Benji's sitting there, and he sits down. I don't think Benji really knew how much nonsense went on down there. So, like, Ben, the furry, would turn to his, like, while they're sitting in class, Benji's just trying to pay attention, and he hears, "What's good, baby? Wanna pet my tail?" He's like, "What the fuck? Dude, what?" He turns around, and he sees Ben, the furry, right, just, like, petting his furry girlfriend. Like, Benji's just like, dude. Benji's like, okay, I'm just going to focus on what I'm doing. And that's when Ben, the furry, turns to his furry girlfriend. Is like, "Let me spit in your mouth, baby. And he goes in and he, like, with his fursuit head thing on, he, like, kisses his furry girlfriend in the mouth. Dude, I don't know how this works. I'm reading this Instagram DM where Benji sent me the story. I don't totally get it. I'm just telling the story. And at this point, Benji turns around. He's expecting, right? Benji's expecting to see some kind of nonsense, but when he turns around and sees this, he's just like, hell nah. He's like, what? He kind of like says, yeah. I think like exactly what he says. He's like, yo, but he like says it much louder than he thought. So Benji kind of just had a guttural reaction to this, which, dude, I don't blame the kid. Like, he sees these two guys, like the two fursuits making out and fondling each other and like whispering sexy things into each other's ears. Bro, I might let out a yelp as well. So like, I don't know, Benji's like, bro. I think he's like, yo, or bro, but he says it much louder than he thought, which brought the attention of the teacher. So the teacher, who is kind of focusing on the front of the room and also the whiteboard, turns around and looks to the back of the room where he just sees these two furry kids going at it in the back. And the teacher is like, hey, you two. And he points to the two furry kids in the back like, what are you doing in my class right now? That is so disrespectful. Get up to the front. And the two of them walk up in their fursuits, right? And he's like yelling at both of them like, don't do any of that. If I see you two doing anything like that again, you're going to the front office. Now go back there. So yeah, the teacher low-key kind of publicly humiliated them instead of just telling them to knock it off. I think the teacher was having a tough day anyways. But Benji felt a little bad, because he didn't think Ben was a bad dude. He didn't really have any interactions with him. But, you know, Ben the furry and his furry girlfriend walked all the way back, and Ben sat down next to him. And after about 30 seconds, Benji went back to paying attention, but that's when he felt a tap on his shoulder. So he turns his head to see that Ben the furry is looking at him in his furry suit. It's kind of like, it's low-key kind of like distracting, or it's kind of like unnerving, I should say, because you just have this like dude in a furry suit just looking at you, right? He's just staring you down. He's staring into the depths of your soul. And Benji kind of looks at him. He's like, and Ben's like, you're gonna pay for what you did, buddy. And Benji's like, what? And Ben's like, yeah, you ratted us out. You know what happens to snitches, buddy. And remember, he's hearing this through, like, the muffle fursuit head, right? So it's very weird. Benji's like, dude, it was an accident. I was just really startled to see what I saw. And, you know, Ben's like, that's too bad, because snitches get stitches. And, like, Benji really didn't even know, like, where he was going with this. So Benji's like, sorry, man. Like, I swear it wasn't like that. And the furry dude's like, well, either way, man, you're going to pay for what you did. And he turns back around. And Benji's like, all right, a little note to self. Ben is not cool. This guy is freaking weird. The furry guy, yeah, turns out he was not as okay as I thought he was. Good to know. This is something that I will remember later. But the thing is, Benji doesn't really think that anything's going to happen. So he walks out of class. And he's kind of thinking, okay, well, if the furry guy is going to come after me, he's going to come after me right out of class. Right? But no, the Ben the furry actually walks the other way with his furry girlfriend, and Benji thinks that that's it, that they're done, and that there's going to be no altercation, no issues, no problems, no nothing, right? So Benji's actually kind of excited at this point, and that's when Benji goes to lunch. And Benji goes to lunch after another class. So the one where he has the like Ben the furry in it, there's a class after that, and then after the second class, he goes to lunch. So a little bit of time has passed since the whole ordeal happens when Benji sits down at his lunch table, and the friend of Benji's lunch table is like, dude, did you hear? And Benji's like, dude, what? He's like, it's about you. And Benji's like, what? Like, I didn't do anything. Because, like, Benji genuinely had not had, there was no reason, Benji thought, that he would be, like, in the news of, like, people talking around, right? He's like, I'm not dating anyone. I'm not shooting my shot with anyone. I didn't get in a fight with anyone. I didn't get caught cheating or anything like that. Like, why would people be talking about me like that? It makes no sense. And his friend's like, dude, like, you know that, like, Ben, the furry guy? And Benji's just like, oh my God, what? He's been telling people that he's going to dominate you and show that, like, you can't be disrespecting him by, like, sitting on you. And Benji's like, bro, what? Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment Ben down below. Secret word of the day will be Ben. I'll try to heart a bunch of comments to say that. I don't know how busy I will be tomorrow when this video goes up. So don't feel bad if you don't get a heart, but I will try and heart as many as I possibly can. Also, the best way to support the channel is just to sit down and binge watch a bunch of old videos. I think I have a playlist linked in the top comment. So after you're done watching this video, you can just click the link and you can go to that playlist. It has all of my videos. Hey, if you do watch that playlist or you binge watch my old videos or whatever, please let me know in the comments so that I can say thank you, because I try and get to as many comments as I can. I just want to say thank you for you guys supporting the channel recently. You guys binge watching the videos helps out even more than you can imagine. Anyways, let's get back to the story. So a little recap, right? Benji's sitting at the table when he learns the news that Ben, the furry, wants to show that he can't be disrespected. And the way that Ben the furry is going to show that Benji won't get away with disrespecting him is by crushing him into dominance. What the hell, dude? What the hell? Yeah, so he's gonna like crush him by sitting on him, because I don't know, dude. I don't know. Don't go in the comments. Do not go in the comments and ask me why, because you know what? You're not getting an answer from me, dude, because I don't know either. I'm just the storyteller. Don't shoot the messenger, baby. Okay, please. All right. Anyways. So Benji's pretty confused at this point. I mean, understandably, I'd be pretty confused as well. And he's just like, hey, yo, bro, what? And he turns to his friend. His friend's like, dude, like, I don't have any, like, I don't know anything that you don't know. I can't explain it. And Benji's just so weirded out. So the next day, he's like, okay, I gotta be early for class. I gotta be early for class. He has 10 minutes in between his classes, right? But he just feels, he feels it in his stomach. He's like, no, dude. Benji's got to go to the bathroom. He's got to go, and unfortunately, he doesn't have to go number 1. That's pretty quick and simple. He has to go number 2, and he has no idea how long it's going to take him. So he does his business, and there's like 30 seconds to get to class before class starts. And class is all the way at the other side of the school. So Benji already knows that he's going to be like 1 minute late. So Benji books it there, and sure enough, the only seat that's available is in the back near the furry guy, near Ben. However, there are a few seats in the back, so Benji does not sit directly next to him. But when Benji sits down, Ben the furry gets up and then moves right to the seat next to him. And Benji's like, dude, no, come on. Oh my, bro, you gotta be bro, please. Yeah, so anyways, right, Benji or Ben the furry whispers to him, like, you shouldn't have disrespected me yesterday. When the time is right, you're gonna pay for it. And Benji's like, dude, I heard people were saying you wanted to sit on me to show dominance. And Ben the furry gives out one of those like, ha ha ha. He gives out like one of those like very fake, but like one of those anime villain laughs or whatever. It was like very cringe, right? It's very awkward and forced and staged. He's like, ha ha ha, you know what I'm gonna do to you now. And Benji's just like, bro, could you please not do that? Totally fair reaction. I think if I heard that someone or a furry man was gonna come and try and assert his dominance on me by sitting on my face, I would say, dude, please, like, I'll give you $5 if you don't. Like, bro, seriously. I would really love it if you didn't do that. Like, I think it would be super epic and awesome if you did not sit on me. Dude, please. Yeah, so anyways, Benji said that, and Ben was like, basically, no. And Ben informs him, when you think, like, when you least expect it, it shall come, which basically meant his furry butt on his face. This is the most stupidest story I've ever received, but I'm sorry. I have to tell it. I have to keep the people entertained, even if it drives me insane a little bit. So leave a like for my sanity. Anyways, yeah, so Benji's a little just like, oh my God. So he like very carefully makes sure that he's never in a position where, like, you know, he could be easily sat on, which, what does that even mean? I don't know. Weeks go by. I'm not even kidding you. Weeks go by every single day, no matter where no matter where Benji sits, somehow Ben the furry sits at least near him. Maybe not directly next to him, but at least near him. And I swear to God, 2 weeks later, when Benji has completely forgotten about this whole ordeal, or at least it's in the back of his mind. Look, if someone comes up to you and threatens to sit on you to assert dominance, I don't think that's ever going to be something that you'll just like forget or something like that. I think that that'll be something that will stick with you for all the wrong reasons for the rest of your life. However, it wasn't something that was a top priority for Benji. It wasn't in the top of his head or like the front of his mind or whatever. So one fateful day, 2 weeks later, Benji drops him his pencil. So of course, as anyone would do, Benji reaches down to grab his pencil. And that's when he feels a whoosh of air. That whoosh of air came from the furry kid, Ben, jumping super quickly out of his chair, leaps on top of Benji, and that's when Benji feels this big thud on his back as he collapses to the floor. And that's when he can hear, like, everyone looking. Dude, he can hear everybody looking at him. He can't see everyone looking at him because he's on the floor. He can freaking hear it. And here's the teacher say, Ben, what on earth? And yeah, so at this point, Benji, like, is able to kind of, like, brush him off or whatever, and Ben flops over, and Ben is screaming, yes, yes, my dominance has been asserted. Get sat on, you pleb. That's a quote, by the way. Yes, yes, my dominance was asserted. Get sat on, you pleb. That was a quote that I received. No, that was not. Look, I do a lot of ad-libbing in these stories because I got to fill in the details because I'm not given 10,000 pages of information. I have to fill in the details where it makes sense. And I ad-lib all the time, right? That was not an ad-lib. That was a quotation. Yeah, I'm just going to let that sink in. Anyways, yeah, the teacher's like freaking out or whatever. Benji's obviously not the happiest camper right now. And at this point, the only person who's super happy is Ben, the furry dude, because he's just like, yes, my dominance was asserted. I sat on him. And I think for some reason he thought that everyone else was going to like immediately bow down and be like, oh, you're our master now because you sat on Benji. What the fuck? Dude, what? Yeah, but anyways, instead of becoming king of the plebs in Ben's mind, that's what was going to happen. He instead became king of the kids being sent to the office for sitting on other kids and distracting the class. Yeah, so the teacher came over, basically said like, Ben, like, you go to the front office right now. I'm going to call up and say what you did. Like, I'm going to try and explain it. Like, just go to the front office. You're in trouble. Get out of here. And then he reaches over to Benji and he's like, did you have any part of this? And Benji's like, not willingly, basically saying like, because I guess the teacher was just seeing if this was some kind of practical joke that they were both pulling or something. And the teacher's like, all right, then. So this obviously, like, I didn't think that you wanted that or whatever just happened. I don't even know, man. But I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a joke or something. And Benji's like, no, like, that kid, like, was mad at me because, like, when, like, do you remember a couple weeks ago when you called, like, him and his girlfriend out for, like, making out in the back of the class? He thinks that I told you to do that or something. And the teacher's like, dude, what? And Ben's like, I don't know. Or Benji's like, I don't know, man. So he's been mad at me, telling everyone that he's going to sit on me to assert his dominance or something crazy. And, yeah, looks like I forgot, and I leaned down to get my pencil, and, I mean, I guess the rest history, man. The rest is history. And the teacher's like, all right, well, that kid's like, Ben's eventually going to have to come back to the classroom. I'll make sure that you guys are sitting in separate corners of the room so that this doesn't happen again. And also just like, if this is happening, just let me know. So, yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Basically, the teacher's like, I'm sorry, man, that this had to happen to you. Moral of the story is, I don't know, man. Like, don't sit on people.
Click on the
bro.
video on
What?
screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it. Do it.